Page 29, I want you to label it Composite Transformations. And the first thing we're going to cut out, watch how I cut it. I will put it on the page so you can see exactly what I'm doing.
I can't cut right because I can't hold the paper because I cut my hand. I cut my left hand.
Okay.
That's the top part.
Numbers 1 through 3. Glue in at the top part of that page. Okay, 1 through 3 at the top part of that page. Leave yourself a little bit of space and do 4 and 5 at the bottom. Thank you, Sienna. You're welcome.
Trash girl. Oh yeah, that's the. I was sorry.
What you gonna do?
Dark night still like
It's okay. You can't be light.
Rubber cement. It sticks better.
He adds that every day.
Every day.
Best you put all of that.
Wait, here. Look at this blood on the scissors. Huh? That's nasty. Hold on, so we don't need 6 and 7?
Hold on. Please go step by step with me. Pay attention to my directions.
Is that why you're doing it?
You need everything on this page.
I'm saying like on this side.
Okay, all I've told you so far is to glue in 1 through 3 and 4 and 5.
Would you cut this for me?
CJ, no. Please go have a seat and cut your paper. It's not that hard. You will handle it. It's just fine, friend.
But this thing. Yeah. Listen, I'm just gonna stay behind it.
Okay. Does everybody have 1 through 3 and 4 and 5 in?
Nope.
Everybody besides CJ because he's going to revolt today. Anybody else still need this page up?
Just number these pages.
They should be numbered. If they're not, I'm taking points off when I check your notebook. That was part of your notebook. Okay, on page 30, you're going to glue in 6 and 7 towards the top, 8 and 9 towards the middle. Leave yourself some space. Let me zoom out of this. Okay, so that's the top of 31. And 32, you're putting 10 and 11 at the top. And then 12 through 15. Okay, and everything will be glued in for today.
I was thinking for like the title page, you only had us put 29 through 30.
No, it clearly said 29 through 31 because I changed it this morning.
10, 11 going 31.
1 through 3 and 4 and 5 go in on 29. 6 and 7 go in on 30. 8 and 9 below it. 10 and 11 go at the top of 31, and 12 through 15 go in the middle of 31. Okay.
Okay, what's now?
Jesus on.
New friends, glue sticks.
Yes, give us our new friends there.
They're glue sticks.
It's not hard. Yeah.
My body's telling no.
I supply you with your first 2 glue sticks, and then afterwards you guys will have to supply your own.
My body's telling me no. My body.
I think that's the thing. Is y'all cutting my friend Tom? Finally, somebody helps you.
That was a terrible.
I'm dropping everything.
I'll make it home. You want to bet that first? I bet it.
Today's not a good day. Like I'm just not feeling it today.
Not feeling it today.
I know.
Bless you.
Like, yeah. When it rains, I just get tired. I sleep on you.
I need to sweat.
Let's go. So Passion and I, we put 4, 5, 6, 4, 6, 7. Bro, why would you do something?
1 through 3 and 4 and 5.
Oh, yeah. Everybody got to fight.
So I had you, yeah. 1 through 3.
I'm really about to go to sleep in this class. Be like, dinner.
It should be 29. I don't know how you got your pages messed up. You get the pages
Yeah.
wrong.
Cristiano. He's like, what, bitch?
That's gonna throw up your entire notebook, and I gotta take off points for that.
Oh, man.
Keep dropping.
What?
27, 28, 29. Your notebook.
Oh, I don't.
I'm sorry, friend. I don't know what to tell you. Your dilations is glued in on the pages we're starting on today, friend. Your dilation section is glued on the pages that we're starting on today. All right. Don't think of today's lesson as a new concept. It's not new. It's taking everything you've learned, rotations, reflections, translations, dilations, and we're doing more than one thing at once. Okay, so we may have a figure that we're going to reflect and then translate. We may have a figure that we're going to dilate and then rotate. You're going to do more than one transformation. Your rules have not changed though. Okay, so for instance, we're going to start with 1, 2, and 3 here. Let me get this big and try to get it a little less blurry here. Okay, focus it. Okay, so each one of these, we're starting with the point 1, negative 3. That's what it's telling me. Each one of these, we're starting with this point 1, negative 3. Okay, the first thing I want to do in number 1 is I want to translate it by x plus 2, y. How is my figure moving under the translation x plus 2, y?
2 to the right, 1.
2 to the right and y stays. So what do I do to my point then? What changes on 1, negative 3? My x. Okay, so the first thing I'm doing is translating. So I need to add 2 to my x. So my new point is what, negative 3 then? 3, negative 3. Okay, so one rule at a time. Okay, one rule at a time. The first thing I did was I translated it to the right by 2 because that's what my rule says. I'm going to the right by 2. Now I'm reflecting in the x-axis. If I'm reflecting over the x, what value is going to change? My y. Okay, think about it. If I'm going over my x, I'm either in the top of the graph and flipping to the bottom, or in the bottom of the graph flipping to the top. That changes my y value. What happens when I reflect? The y changes signs. Okay, so my last thing then is going to be 3, 3. And that's what we plot then. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And watch what I do. I label this A double prime. Why do I label this double prime?
It's the second movement.
It's the second movement. It's your second transformation. Okay? So it's nothing new. It's just building on top of each other now. So in the next one, we still start with the point 1, negative 3. I now want to translate it x minus 4, y plus 3. How does that move if I'm going x minus 4? Okay, that's going to the left by 4. Remember, your x goes either left or right. If it's negative, it's going to the left. Y plus 3 is moving my figure where? Up by 3. Okay, so we subtract 4 from my x and add 3 to my y. So my new point after translation is what? Negative 3.
Negative 3, 0.
Good. Negative 3, 0. Okay. Now I want to reflect across y equals 2. Okay. If you're still stuck on this, do me a favor. Let's plot the point negative 3, 0. So that goes here. And this is just A prime. Only one transformation has happened. We're now going to reflect across the line y equals 2. That line is at 2 on your y-axis. Okay, so this is your line of reflection that I just drew on your graph. So from my line of reflection, how do I get to my point that I have drawn? How do I move to get to my point? Listen listen to what I'm saying and stop letting the two girls in the front answer all of your questions.
Down to.
Okay. It's down 2 from my line of reflection. So if this point's down 2, my new point has to go up 2. Thank you. So my new point is up here, A double prime. Okay. So if you struggle with the number line, this is another way to do it. So my new point is now -3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, finally, my last one. Again, we start at the point 1, -3. I'm going x minus 3, y plus 2. 1. Where am I moving if I'm going x minus 3?
What? You said x minus 3, right?
X minus 3.
Down.
Which way does your x-axis move? Good.
Yeah.
X moves left and right. -3 means we need to move in the negative direction, so we're going to the left by 3. Okay. Joseph, where am I going if I'm going y plus 2? Up. Good. Up by 2. So to move left by 3, we subtract 3 from your x. To move up by 2, we add 2 to your y. So that gives me a new point of what, comma, what?
2, -1.
-2, -1. Okay, so -2, -1 puts A prime right here. Okay, this time I'm reflecting across x equals 2. So this line goes through the x-axis at 2. Okay, so this is a vertical line. Again, from my line of reflection, how would I get to my point? Christian, how do I get to my point from my line of reflection? How many spaces do I got to go? And what direction?
You gotta go to the right. Go up.
Oh, sorry, I didn't pay attention. This was 2. Let's just make this 1. Okay. To go from here to here, how many spaces did I have to move?
4.
4 to the left. So my new point then has to go 4 to the right. I'm reflecting over this line. So we have to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is a double prime.
What? There's a double prime?
Man, we just did this jump 2 times. I just realized that.
Double prime means that you have done 2 transformations. 2 different things have happened. Have you not written down any of this? Christian.
Oh my God.
Come on. Leave me alone.
Okay, so my new point is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, comma, -1. Okay, 6, comma, -1. Okay, so this is all we're going to practice today. Okay, now we're dealing with 2 points. We've got 1, 2, and 5, 4. So we start at C is at 1, 2, and D is at 5, 4. Okay, so my first thing is a translation. How am I moving in this translation? Deja, how am I moving in this translation? Right here. What's this telling me I need to do? Left by 4. Perfect. I'm moving everything to the left by 4, which means I need to change my x's. We're going to subtract 4 from each one of my x's. So my first point, C prime, should be at -3, 2 and 1, 4. Okay. My next thing says I want to reflect in the x-axis. If I reflect across the x-axis, Ureli, what value is changing if I'm crossing my x-axis and reflecting? Your y values. Good. So my +2 becomes what, Ureli? -2, and my +4 becomes? Fantastic. So my final points are -3, -2, and 1, -4. And then you'll plot those. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So this is C double prime. And then 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is D double prime. Okay. Again, that double prime means 2 transformations have happened.
That's great.
What, the double prime? That just means you've done 2 things. That's all. So if I tell you it's C quadruple prime, you've done 4 things.
Right at the door.
Somebody's at my door.
Mm-hmm.
Should we let them in?
No.
Oh, no.
Hi. Are you keeping him the rest of the wall? Okay. Joseph, let me give you your work that you're going to do the rest of the period.
Thank you.
Adios. Thank you, sir. Okay, so we're starting at the same original points in number 5. Caleb, what's my first transformation? Tell me it's happening in number 5. I'm adding 2 to the y, so what's that doing to my picture? How's it moving? If I'm adding 2 to my y. It's moving up. Okay, this tells me I'm moving up by 2. So Caleb says I need to add 2 to my y's to do that. So CJ, if I'm adding 2 to my y's in both of these points, this point's going to be what, comma, what? Beautiful. And 5, 4 then becomes what? See, you can do this. It's just this notebook that you hate. We're going to fight with this notebook all semester, aren't we? Okay. My last one, I'm reflecting in y equals x. What do I do to my points if I'm reflecting in y equals x? What do I do? You flip them. Look at the order that this is in. Y is first, x is second. So all that tells me is I need to flip my points. So 4, 1, 6, 5. Ta-da! Okay, so we're going to plot the point 4, 1. 4 to the right and up by 1. There's C double prime. And 6, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So D double prime goes here. Questions so far?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Flip your page. On page 30. On page 30, we're going to look at pieces 6 and 7 first. Okay. What they want us to do in 6 and 7 is describe to them what has happened. So the first thing we need to do is figure out what is my first picture. Which one?
The one on the left.
I've got
bottom and left.
the bottom left. Okay, this is my original. Okay. Where's my first transformation?
Top left.
Top left. What has happened from my original to my first transformation?
Left.
Reflects across what?
X.
Good. So the first thing we did is we reflected in the x-axis. Okay. Now we go from here to here. What has happened? If I go from here to here.
Go up. Move over. A lot.
You translated.
It's translation. Okay. All this is a slide. It's still the same direction. All it is a slide. So I heard you say we went up by 2. So that's y plus 2.
You go over by a lot.
You've got to count it. How far did we go over?
6 or 7, something like that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
So x plus 6, y plus 2.
I'm about to give me a headache.
About to give you a headache.
Yeah, it's hard.
Oh my.
I'll start tripping. I see too many little boxes. Like them graph paper. Oh yeah, I'll be confused.
You're going to be real confused when you do the project then.
Oh!
What project?
I just died inside.
You just died inside.
When does that
Okay.
do? Oh, when does that start?
We'll talk about it when it comes up.
When?
Okay. What is my original figure in number 7? In quadrant 1. This is my original figure. I go from here to here.
Rotate.
That's rotate. Okay. How far did I rotate?
180? No. 270.
Hold on.
270,
We can do 270 or what?
90
90
degree clock.
degrees.
Okay. So this is a 90 degrees counterclockwise or 270 clockwise. Remember, it does the same thing. I can either go 1 to the left, which is 90 counterclockwise, or I can go 1, 2, 3 to the right, and that's 270 clockwise. Either way works. Okay. Now, from there, I'm going from here to here.
Reflection.
How do I know it's a reflection and not a translation?
Is it the same spot? My bad.
It reflects off the same point.
I mean,
It
it could be
reflects off
both,
the
couldn't it?
x-axis.
It could be both.
No, it can't. It is definitely a reflection.
So you can't. Yeah, I said reflection first time.
It is reflection. Look at where your A is here versus your A here.
Oh, yeah, I seen that.
It's in the bottom and now it's in the top.
I was seeing.
Look at here. When we did this one, it was in the top left. It's still in the top left, which is what makes that a translation instead of a reflection.
I was
Okay.
seeing if you seen
It's
that.
opposite. Oh, you testing me now?
Yeah.
What am I reflecting over?
X.
The x-axis.
That was the wet tears.
All right. Down here. Where are my points? Why did it not list me the points I'm supposed to start with? All right, we're going to do these points. 3, 1. Give me a second. B is at 1,5. C is at 5,3. Okay, we're going to start with these points for both of these. Okay, so we're going to start when A is 3,1, B is 1,5, C is 5,3.
What did you write there?
Yes, now.
Moses, pick your head up, please, friend. Okay. Moses, if it says X minus 4, Y minus 3, which way am I moving? You're going to answer me. So pick your head up, look at the screen. If I have X minus 4, which way am I moving? To the left. And if I have Y minus 3, I'm moving which way? How does your y-axis move? Good. It's going to be down. Okay, so this tells me I'm moving to the left and down. To move to the left by 4, we subtract 4 from all of your x's. To move down by 3, we subtract 3 from all of your y's. So my first new point then, yes, 3,1, when I move to the left 4 and down 3 becomes what? -1, -2. Fantastic. Who haven't I picked on today?
How you picking on people?
Mr.
Josue,
Oh.
if I start with 1,5 and I'm moving to the left 4 and down 3, my new point becomes what? Do what it's saying. 1 minus 4 gives me what? You're okay if you need to do it on the calculator. It's all right. It's what? It's 1 minus 4. -3. And then 5 minus 3 gives me what? Perfect. So my new point's at -3, 2. I haven't picked on all yet. I really haven't.
Mr. Warlock.
5, 3. Calm down. 5, 3. I'm moving to the left by 4. So my 5 becomes what? 1. And 3 minus 3 becomes 0. Fantastic. Okay. Reflection in the x-axis. If I'm reflecting over the x, what's going to change, Edwin? What value is going to change if I'm reflecting over the x? Think about what's happening. If I'm reflecting over the x, I'm either going from top to bottom or bottom to top. So what value is changing? Your x or your y if I'm moving from top to bottom or bottom to top? Your y values are changing. How are my y values changing? Can anyone help my friend Edwin out? If I'm reflecting over the x, my y's are changing by what? Signs. Okay, so this becomes -1, 2. -3, -2. Perfect. And that one doesn't change because 0 does not become positive nor negative. So we're graphing -1, 2, and this is A double prime. We're graphing -3, -2, and this is B double prime. And we're graphing 1, 0, and this is C double prime. Okay. We're going to start with these 3 original points again for number 9.
Nothing. You must definitely.
Sweetheart, the only way to practice math is to do problem after problem after problem.
I just want to take
Okay, my first transformation tells me I'm doing what, Grace? Okay, subtracting 2 from the x. So which way am I moving? To the left. Okay, so to move to the left 2, we have to subtract 2 from all of my x's. So point A becomes what, Marlon?
I got lost.
Right here.
Okay, that'll be 1.
-1. -1 comma 3. B becomes what, my friend? You're okay.
-1, 5.
Perfect. -1 comma 5. And C then becomes, Sienna? 3 comma 3. Okay. My last one. We haven't done rotation in a while. So let's see if we can pull this back out of your heads.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. All right.
That sounds like something I remember.
90 degrees. 90 tells me to do what to my numbers? Do they stay or do they switch? Switch. Anytime it's a 90 or 270, we switch. So don't worry about the signs right now. This is 3-1. This is 5-1. And this is 3-3. Okay. We'll deal with the signs in a little bit here. Okay. Just switch your numbers for now. Okay. 90 degrees. Whenever they don't tell you clockwise or counterclockwise, it's automatically counterclockwise. Okay. So we're rotating to the left.
So X will be negative.
So if I start with negative, positive, that means I'm in the second quadrant. Okay, let me draw my quadrants up here again. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so if I start in the second and I'm going 90 degrees counterclockwise, where do I go? Am I going here or here? I'm going to the third. So if I'm in the third quadrant, my X values are? And my Y values are negative. So this is negative, negative. Okay. This one's in the same situation. We started in 2. We're rotating to 3. So we're negative, negative. And finally, I start at 3, 3. So I'm in 1. I finish at 2. So I'm negative, positive. Okay, unfortunately, that graph's not going to work for us because I don't think the points that I used were the ones we were supposed to. So we're just not going to graph that one, okay? We're just not going to graph that one. Oh, man. Last ones. We almost finished. Okay. Then you guys are going to work on an assignment, and then you have a mini project that's going to go in as a quiz grade.
What? That project was today?
It's a mini project. Monday, you're going to do the full out project. You're going to have all period in class to start on it. And what you don't get finished is going to be homework. And we'll discuss when it's going to be due. Calm yourselves. Okay. So we're back to the points. 3, 1, 1, 5, and 5, 3. Let's get through this and I will explain it all to you. Okay. Okay. It's a wrap. Okay, my first transformation. I'm doing what? So when I add 3 to my X, which way am I moving? I'm moving to the right. Okay, what's my Y minus 5 tell me I'm doing? Down. Okay, so I'm going to the right by 3, so I have to add 3 to my X's. I'm going down by 5, so I need to subtract 5 from my y's. That should make this 6, negative 4, 4, 0, and 8, negative 2. I'm now reflecting in the y-axis. So what is changing? My x's. Okay, so this finishes out at negative 6, negative 4, negative 4, 0, and negative 8, negative 2. Bless you. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is A double prime. B double prime is at negative 4, 0. And C double prime is at negative 8, negative 2. Okay. Translation. X minus 6, y plus 1. How am I moving? To the left and up. Fantastic. So to move to the left, we subtract 6 from all of our x's. To move up by 1, we add 1 to all of our y's. So we should be at negative 3, 2, negative 5, 6, and negative 1, 4. And the last thing we're doing is going 90 degrees. Okay. So 90 degrees tells me I'm doing what with my numbers first? Switching them. Okay. So 2, 3, 6, 5, 4, 1. Okay. All of these start at negative positive. So we're all in quadrant 2. If I'm going 90 degrees, remember, if it's not written there, it's automatically counterclockwise. So I'm going from 2 to 3, which means my signs are negative, negative. All of my points should be negative, negative. And go ahead and plot those. 2, 3. So that's A double prime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is B double prime. 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 1. And this is C double prime. Any questions on what we've done so far? The last 4, it's going to tell you how your figure is going to move, and you need to figure out which picture goes along with it. Okay, one picture goes with each one. So we're going to jump down here. Okay. All right. So number 12 says, I want to translate parallel to L. Okay, so I stay parallel to L, and then I want to reflect across line L. So which one shows a translation parallel to L and then a reflection across it? D. Good. Here's your original. It translated down parallel to L, and then it went across it and reflected. So this is D. Number 13 says, I'm going to rotate around point Q, and then I'm going to translate parallel to L. That one's B. It rotated around Q and then translated down. All right, so we're down D and B. 14 says, I'm going to rotate about Q and then reflect over L. That's A. So then the last one's C. Fantastic. Okay. Any questions? That was an easy one. Like the entire lesson or just the last part?